Here is our third bed. The relationship that we have in this bed is tomatoes, basil, and peppers. You'll see that I have the basil planted right beneath the tomato plants. They like each other. And peppers go with the tomatoes and the basil. This basil bush is looking really happy. They've been in the ground for about 2 weeks. Same with the tomatoes. The peppers are a little sooner. And I have a hard time pulling out volunteer plants. I did not plant this squash here. Who knows what he is? He looks kind of like either a watermelon or a cantaloupe, but sometimes I just like the surprises that the Mother Nature gives us. You can see it goes all the way down here. So in this bed you'll plant tomatoes, basils, any of your bell peppers, hot peppers, and eggplants. Eggplant does good. These are the Japanese variety. I like them because they grow slender and long, and they're easier to use in recipes. Sometimes I don't always gauge the bulbous eggplant like I want to, and then I miss them in the harvest. These are easy to put in like your different eggplant dishes. Let's go on to bed number 2. And this is bed number 2. It's filled with squashes, parsley, cucumbers, and cilantro. That is a really good mix of plants to put in. They all help each other. Here's our little cilantro. I break back some of the leaves on the squash so that I don't overcrowd my cilantro. As you can see, this is the pie pan. There's my little pie pans and blossoms in the beautiful morning sun, all ready to be picked. I'll start picking them pretty soon. You know, you always get huge amounts of squash, so there's no harm in starting to eat them sooner than later. You can see the cilantro down here by the edge. There's the parsley. Now, the little parsley is the one I just planted this spring, and the large parsley is a leftover from last year. I transplanted him so it would be in the right beds. Now here is one of my joys of the garden. These are my cucumbers. Cucumbers love to grow in cages. So we built these cages out of concrete reinforcement. They're not too expensive. Wired them together with their own wires. And the cucumbers, wait till you see these later on in the season. These are fantastic. These will just twine up the cages, and then when they have fruit, you can just pick them standing up, and they hang into the center of the cages. They're protected, they're off the ground. Absolutely wonderful. Now here's my girls in the back. Hi girls. That's Lollipop and Jules and Patricia and Red and Brownie. I love my Americanas. They lay the blue eggs. It's always a treat when you get farm fresh eggs from your own backyard. All right, enough of that digression. Let's get back to our tour. Here is bed number 1, the jewel of the garden. What's not to love in this bed? Oh my goodness, my favorites. The semiotic relationship in these plants consists of onions, garlic, bok choy, kohlrabi, kale, and as you can tell, lots and lots of lettuce greens. Oh my gosh. My mouth just waters looking at all these beautiful heads of lettuce. They're different kinds. They look like rosettes, don't they? And you can see the little green onions back there. I plant them in the row. I also have leeks in this bed. Here's a new one I added to the garden, and I would absolutely add it again. These are bitters, mustard greens, different kinds of kales. And what I did this year was a little different, was that I planted garlic. It's a little difficult to tell the garlic from the onions unless you look carefully. The garlic has kind of a flat, twisted leaf. You can see these are the California organic early garlic. I thought they might have a special name, but they don't. They're just called early garlic. And the onions are round. Now these large ones are actually transplants from last year's garden. And they already have a flower on them going to seed, which is alright. I don't mind. Now these onions here, these are green onions. Now why they look funny? Well, for a couple of reasons. One, when you buy green onion in the store, if you leave about an inch on the end, you can replant them outside, especially if they're organic, and they will continue to grow. And two, when you do plant your your onions, you don't have to pull them out of the ground. When you're ready to use the onions, you can just take a pair of scissors and cut them off at the ground, give them a little space, and they will continue to grow. Now these are my son's favorite in here. These are the kohlrabi. Oh, and they're so beautiful. Big round purple. He says they look like space alien vegetables. I love these in sticks. I eat the greens. Look at this guy. He's ready to go. I am thinking about cutting him all up into little slices and eating him with some delicious hummus. Well, that is the tour of the garden. The spring has sprung, and here's an overview of my gorgeous beds. And my girls. The girls were the absolute secret in this garden. Their fertilizer is so high in nitrate, you get these incredible leaves. Anything with a leaf. So leaf needs nitrate, chicken, and tomatoes need potassium, bone meal. If you put too much nitrogen in your tomatoes, you'll end up with nice big fluffy plants and no fruits. Anyway, that's my tour of this summer's garden. Have a wonderful time. See you at the table.